Didn't feel like cramping it into a small space. So we're going to start our reading off today with oracle cards from The Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Krans. And the first cards that we're going to pay attention to is Aletheia with the Black Rose upright, Anima Mundi with the candle in reverse. Pay attention to that, even though this person's meditating and looking enlightened. And then we have the Cave in reverse. Okay, so there is a theme here. This reading is about somebody who's been isolating themselves to an absolute extreme, to the point where it has become unhealthy. The Black Rose upright suggests requiring a lot of shadow work. Aletheia in general refers to truth, unveiled truth, buried truths, major life-altering events. In the Bible, this name pertains to God being the way, the truth, living truth, speaking the truth in love. This is all about unconcealedness. In Greek, it has everything to do with open disclosure, discerning that which has been veiled or, what is the word that I'm looking for? Neglected. So when the Black Rose is upright, this is about growing in hardship, blossoming through difficulties and resistance and hostility, uncovering truths, rebirth, overcoming catastrophe. But most importantly, this is a deep, dark truth that someone in the collective has been suppressing, hiding, and it is a painful truth once that truth is discovered. Kind of like somebody who is suppressing a trauma that they cannot acknowledge. And then we have Anima Mundi. When the candle is in reverse, it is suggesting that you are closing yourself from others. This card is all about opening up to the collective, understanding that everyone is collectively connected. This is about accepting diversity, being radically accepting of others. When the candle is in reverse, you are blocking yourself from others, blocking yourself from the collective. You are not being open to others. This is about having inner blockages, suppressing your spiritual energy. This is about isolating yourself and focusing too much on your differences with others, feeling a loss of purpose, and being too judgmental. And then the cave, this is also in reverse. This is about retreating. This is about your environment where you're hiding yourself and concealing yourself, no longer serving a purpose of rejuvenation, but if anything, now it is becoming toxic. You are living in fear. You are creating illusions in your head. It is time to branch out of that situation. You are hiding from the external world. You're avoiding certain responsibilities. So let's take it back here. What's going on? When I asked why the Black Rose is like this, if it could elaborate, and it shows me somebody who, with the Queen of Swords, we hear this quite frequently. The Queen of Swords has been hurt. The Queen of Swords is estranged from their partner, has learned through hardship, has learned to be intellectual, intelligent, rational, logical as a result of hardships. So it would make sense that she would be paired with this card. In addition to that, we have the Page of Pentacles. This is somebody who has utilized or possibly overutilized their analytical skills when starting new projects, to the point where they have isolated themselves from others and suppressed their own emotional journey, and there is no emotion involved with her forward movement. If anything, she is suppressing her emotions because of the fact that they might be very painful for her, and she has encountered pain as a result of embracing emotions in her life. In addition to this, these two cards reveal information about movement forward. regarding new beginnings, new financial beginnings, new projects, new movement forward while establishing material foundation. This person might also want to be receptive to someone in their life that can help think them through this process, an advisor almost. Temperance is also suggesting that before making decisions, instead of fearing opening yourself up from a creative perspective and emotional perspective, in order to deal with the flow of emotions that come with that you take a step back and that you think things through and trust that you are capable of thinking things through, even when major choices appear to be scary. And the Anima Mundi, about, connecting to the collective. I got a card that I keep in the deck that is a blank card. I keep it there to tell me whenever I've asked too many questions, whenever I shouldn't pull any more cards, whenever, the future is kind of unknown, or I can rewrite the future, similar to that with the Void Rune that modern people might include in their rune sets where there's nothing on it. This concept of the future being open to not the future, how do I say this? The future not being written in stone, being open to the possibilities of altering it. I also use this card, again, I repeat, to stop me from moving forward in the reading. Sometimes you get addicted to pulling cards. If this card appears, it means any card before it, I should not move forward. But in this perspective, the wall is symbolizing the wall that you've put up between yourself and others. The Magician is suggesting that you have the power to utilize and connect to all resources and all people around yourself in order to manifest a future, that you have superior skills, superior qualities to those around you. You have a direct connection to the divine, and as a result, you no longer have to place a wall between yourself and others. If anything, you have done this not because you're toxic, but because you probably perceive too much when you're connecting with others, and you are putting a wall up around yourself in order to protect yourself. I find it interesting that there's two roses here, and we started the reading off with a black rose upright and a white rose below it. What this tells me here in the collective, because if you notice in the Temperance cards, there's no rose. No rose here. No rose there. And no rose there. So this card was strategically placed here by Spirit. The two roses is showing that you can combine the shadow aspects of yourself with the conscious aspects of yourself, and you can make things happen. So by embracing the pain and truths that you have suppressed, in addition to those that you are willing to accept, by embracing both of those things, you can connect to the world around you, and you no longer have to wall yourself off. The cave symbolizing a place, a physical place in your life. You are having trouble balancing your commitments to home and your commitments to your forward movement within your community. You are having trouble balancing the reasons behind your feeling or your inclination to only think with your mind and isolate yourself from your heart, with your need to connect with your own gifts to move yourself forward. You are having trouble balancing your finances. You are having trouble balancing the people around you. And you are also having trouble balancing your responsibilities. And this is a reality that we all have to face. As a result, you are functioning on autopilot and remaining closer to your safe zone in order to reserve your resources or conserve your resources. And advice from Spirit is that you are going to actively have to work, apply yourself, and embrace whatever inspiration it is that you have within you to move yourself forward. And you're going to have to do that by cooperating with some very trustworthy people.